Anybody have blue mana up is something you've almost certainly heard if you've played Commander. And when the answer is no, the instigator smiles with glee and begins to reveal their evil plan, knowing nobody can stop them. But you're sat smug because you watched this video. You kick back, relax, enjoy the elation in their eyes as the combo grows and grows and grows. It's finally time. The final piece is revealed. Crackle with power for game, they say. One player starts to back up, but you hold out your hand in response. They pause. Fear overtakes them. What could you have? The white has 3 notable counterspells for Commander I barely ever see make a main deck, but just for these moments I've grown attached to playing them as often as I can. And if you want to be ready for these moments, come prepared with these 3 cards. First up is Mana Tithe. Actually no, sorry Mana Tithe, you don't count. 1 mana is far too easy a thing to come by in Commander. Sure, Mana Tithing turn 1 against the Solving is going to be a memory that lasts forever, but every other time it does nothing. No, we want the real counter spells. First up is the cheapest and probably best, Reprieve. Sure, it does give them the spell back to cast again, but frankly all the white counter spells do. That's the cost of using the stack in white. It does, however, draw you a card, meaning if you draw the card early and need to dig, you can just cast on any old spell, draw your card, and your opponent probably won't mind that much because it goes back to their hand as well. You're not permanently getting rid of it. But in a crucial spot, it can save you or the table. And that's not all, it's also the most tricky counterspell you can use because it doesn't care if the spell can't be countered, you can still return it to its owner's hand, and let's say someone tries to counter your spell, you can reprieve your own spell to put it back in your hand and cast it again later. It does so much. I love Reprieve. Next up is the most recent addition for Magic, Even Interrupter. It forces your opponent's spell to be plotted, meaning yes, it can be cast again for free next turn, but you get a turn to plan around it. However, because you can only cast a plotted spell at sorcery speed, if you counter, say, a counter spell, that's not going to have a target at sorcery speed, so you do essentially get rid of it forever. It's also really good against X spells like Crackle with Power because you can cast it without paying its mana cost, means you can't cast it paying its mana cost. So something like Crackle with Power is also essentially countered forever. And thanks to the third ability, it still costs 2 more, and that can just randomly screw over some of your opponent's decks, which can be a good thing, or if you're up against a Cascade deck, they're going to kill this interrupter or you before they can play the game, so it can earn you some unwanted attention, but hey, a 2/2 flyer is also pretty useful in some decks. I play this in my equipment deck, and it's great to just, if you don't have your commander out, your equipment can just still go somewhere. And finally, the card I've seen least yet my personal favourite. Are you certain you haven't seen it before? Lapse of Certainty is a Memory Lapse reskin for 1 more mana in white, but it hard counters the spell by putting it on top of their deck. This means sure, if they have some draw spells they can draw and play it again, but otherwise it is gone for the turn. All of the counter spells having... Ultimately this means you are safe until they... Ultimately all 3 white... As you'll see, these 3 spells have one thing in common. They don't get rid of your opponent's spell, but they do buy you time. Maybe this means your opponent gets to combo off next turn, but you get to hold up your other interaction, your opponents have their interaction, you get to see what's coming. Maybe you can't fit all 3 in your deck. Lord knows commander decks are homogenized enough, and I don't think any of these are must-includes. But they can make for a memorable moment while giving your deck some much-needed resilience. If you're not playing blue, consider adding just one of these to your deck and see how it goes. Thanks so much for watching.